So, hi guys, thank you very much for joining us after what must have been an incredibly busy day at your virtual schools. This is the AC Academy Scholars, the most senior members of the scholarship team. You've got Ella Aldridge, you've got Will Parsons, you've got Josh Samango, and you've got Lara Hobson right down on the bottom. Hi, Lara. Everyone's looking down on you. Thanks so much for taking time to have a chat to us. One of the reasons we wanted to invite you to it's not really crafty beer with, because none of you are of the legal age to be able to drink. So what have you actually got to drink? Nice. What have you?
I've got a milkshake.
Yeah. What you got, Josh?
Quite basic, so I got sparkling water.
Oh, that's very healthy. Ella, what have you got there?
I've got some dirty-looking iced coffee.
That does look awful. So anyway, thanks for taking the time to have a not crafty beer with me to talk about being a scholar, what it's about, and how you involve your life in it and how it's changed things for you. So, firstly, obviously, we've had over 35,000 people viewing the Royal Albert Hall concert, the virtual concert that we did. And the four of you were absolutely key in building that and being part of that. And I know that it was incredibly stressful, but can you sort of tell me about how difficult it really was to do that? Because certainly from our point of view as leaders, doing everything in one take and making sure it was absolutely perfect was deeply stressful. So, I mean, Josh, have you done anything like this before?
Definitely not. This was my first time. And the one take business was hectic. I can remember with the Mamma Mia medley, I was so close to finishing and then I forgot the last line. And I had
you told us about that. That was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
So you clearly enjoyed it thoroughly. So
yes, of course.
Will, you actually also had to solo a duet with Ella.
Yeah.
And how hard was that?
It was harder because I had to listen to what Ella was singing and then record off that and make sure that it sounded and blended well. And it was always because it was the same sort of problems. You had to do it all in one take. If you messed up slightly, scrap the entire last take and do it over and over again. And some of the notes in the song were a bit ridiculously high for my voice, which was kind of good. We got to get to record it, to be honest. I mean, it was a bit of a mad one.
It was very good. What about Lara? I mean, how did you find it, Lara? Because you live with lots of people in your house. It must have been really hard to have peace and quiet.
Yeah, it was horrible. I literally I locked myself in the garden room. I was like, don't come in. It took me hours. You'd think it would only take not that long because there's not that much music. But when you have to do each one like 10 times, it took so long. It was stress. I remember I was playing the Bach violin concerto with Salome, recording it the same week as we did all that. And I remember I was doing really, really well. And I got to the last but one bar and I played a howling wrong note. And I've never been so cross with myself. Go all the way back to the beginning again. And so, Ella, you had to do obviously the other side of the duet with Will. And I mean, how hard was it? I mean, you had to start it off. So, you had to work, and you had to somehow make it fit. How did that work?
Yeah, I didn't have anyone to listen to while I was singing along, so I had to just literally memorize every time it slowed down, every time it sped up. So just like memorizing it and learning it took half the time. So
yeah, very impressed how you learned it off by heart. So in terms of the scholarships, I know that three of you have actually done an Albert Hall concert before. Will, this was going to be your first. Last, and obviously it would never happen. We will definitely invite you back when we do it again next year or the previous year. You have my word on that. But some of you, I'm thinking, Josh and Lara, you've been AC Academy members for quite some time now. Who's been the longest?
It is me. I'm very old, yes.
You come across a photo of you, Josh, looking very, very cute. I'm not saying you're not cute now, but very, very cute and young. How old were you when you joined?
Oh, it was either I was 6 or 7, so it was 11 years ago when I joined.
You were properly diddy.
Yes.
That was when great Dan Ludford Thomas ran it. Lara, when did you join?
I joined when I was 7, so a few months after Josh, I think it was.
Did you join because Josh had joined?
Of course.
No. No.
So both of you have actually done, this would have been your 4th Royal Albert Hall concert?
Yeah.
So, yes.
Gosh, so last time, Lara, you had a solo. No, 2 times ago, wasn't it? You had a
Yeah.
solo. I can't remember what you sang. What did you sing? Do you remember?
Castle on a Cloud.
Oh yeah. Oh, memories. And Ella, last time you had the big solo. So what was that like? Can you remember?
That was like terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Not even just doing it, the build up to it was awful. But when I was just actually on the stage, it was fine.
But you did seem so totally calm about the whole thing.
Well, I've watched the video back, and my face, you can see in my face, I look like white. I look terrified.
You absolutely, you're clearly very good at hiding it. So Will, obviously you were going to be having a solo this time, and you know, to have it taken away, obviously is quite harsh.
Yeah.
How did you feel? How did you feel? And
I mean, I kind of vaguely prepared for myself for the possibility of it happening, and then COVID-19 happened, and it kind of became more and more of a realization that we might not actually get to perform. Like, and as each week passed, and as it got worse and worse with restrictions, I was kind of getting to the realization, oh gosh, we're not going to end up performing. I was just kind of a bit like, oh damn it, because you prepare yourself for it so far in ahead, and you get yourself ready with all the music, and you're prepared to do it, and then you just go, oh, not doing it anymore. I think that kind of anticlimax, isn't it?
yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I remember being quite matter of fact about the fact. I knew a lot longer before you guys heard about the whole. It being very likely we weren't going to do it, but I just thought it is what it is. We are where we are. You know, we were doing other stuff by that stage. But on the day of the concert, on the 3rd of June, it was 2 days before my daughter's birthday, and I remember I was in Sainsbury's, the only shop open, to go and buy her a present. So baffling myself what to get. And I thought at that time I should have been on the stage at the Albert Hall with you guys, and I did feel really upset at that point. And that's the point. That's the only time it really hit me.
Yeah.
But then watching it through in the evening with you guys just made it all worth it.
Yeah.
So that was special. So thank you. I'm really grateful that you guys put yourselves through such stress to do that, because you brought a lot of pleasure to a lot of people. And I know you've aged, but it's a good. Stress is a bit of stress is good. So as part of your scholarship, you get to rehearse and perform with the professional musicians of Monaco Consort. What's that like? I mean, Ella, you were the first scholar. So what was that like for you, coming from, because you didn't read music before, and you'd never sung in a choir before, and we shoved you in the deep end. Tell us about it.
Oh, it was absolutely daunting. It was like the weirdest and scariest experience of my life, but like you have to be thrown into those sort of situations to like one day be comfortable in them. So, and I feel like I am now. So like I'm so grateful for it. So, yeah.
And what's really fascinating is seeing how all of your sight reading has improved, and just seeing your faces in that first rehearsal. I can't remember what piece it was we were doing, and you were all looking ashen and desolate, because we've only just started learning music. I mean, I know Lara, you had already learned music because you were in the St Mary's choir, but Josh, it was relatively new to you, and Will, you hadn't quite joined yet. Not that we hadn't given you a place the first time; you came last year. But it was a really big thing. I mean, Josh, do you remember the first time you and Lara had actually sung with the choir before, hadn't you?
We had, but we hadn't sung songs in that caliber. So sight reading that music at the start was absolutely terrible. To be honest, to be frank with you, I hated it. But looking at it now, I progressed really well from it, and I definitely needed that experience. So I second with that.
So Lara, you obviously you get to sing with these amazing sopranos who, singing as well as our choir, things like the Monteverdi choir in a 16. What's it like? I mean, do you feel it changes your voice?
Yeah, definitely. Listening to them and being surrounded by them, it kind of molds the way that you sing as well, I guess. I mean, it was a shock, especially with singing with the kids, and then where we're kind of the oldest, and then going up. It's like moving to secondary school where suddenly you're like the lowest, and it's a shock, but it helps you so much singing with people of such high quality.
Totally. I mean, obviously, as a tenor, Will, you must be, getting to sing next to these enormous tenor voices. I mean, how did that feel the first time you sat next to them?
God, yeah. The first rehearsal we had, I sat there with my music in front of me. I'm not the strongest of sight readers, to be honest. And these guys just sat next to me. They've never picked the music up or sung it once or twice before, and they just sing the entire thing through, note perfect, not missing a single thing. I'm just there like, God, like how do we get here? Just like, but it helps so much because you're just stood next to these amazing voices, and because you just pick up what they're doing just by your ear, and and everything they're doing, you kind of pick up on their techniques and everything like that, and it's just being surrounded by amazing singers makes you better, I think.
Absolutely. And it must be quite rewarding as well. I remember the first rehearsal with Messiah, and obviously a lot of the choir knew it already, and you were doing all these melismatic phrases, all these extraordinary long phrases with many, many notes in them.
Yeah.
And you all looked, like somebody, your close relative had died at the end of the first rehearsal. And but then by the time we actually got to perform it, I know that most of you you really had cracked it. And how did that feel when you go from that journey it was only 2 weeks from not knowing it at all to being in a situation where you feel totally at ease with it, or just being on that stage next to those singers with that amazing orchestra in front of 1,000 people? How did that feel?
Insane, I guess. Like, you go from being in a rehearsal room, which is kind of a comfort space because you can make a mistake and you can laugh it off if you do something wrong, but then you're on stage in front of thousands of people just kind of stood there next to these amazing singers who, like, it's their job to sing amazingly, and you're there, and it's quite awe-inspiring because you're there being like, I'm allowed to be in this environment and I'm able to kind of add something to it, even though I'm not their level. I can kind of, that's an aspirational thing for me, and being there among them, I think.
Yeah, so Lara, one of my most memorable moments of your time with the AC Academy is when we did that Christmas concert, and I think it's 3 years ago, and we did that piece of Pretorius, Poor Natus in Bethlehem, which is that really complicated chorus with all those words. And I just said to you, like, you were really, really desperate to do it. And I said to you at the end of the rehearsal, well, if you can take it away and practice it and come fully learn next time, I'll let you sing it. I never expected you to do it because it was so hard. And you came to the next rehearsal and you totally nailed it. And I just thought, I cannot possibly have the right not to let you do that. And I was so blown away by your total commitment to it and your love of the music. I mean, so what does it feel like for you to, something like Messiah, where these great masterpieces of choral work, singing with the trumpets and the drums in a large concert hall? How does it feel?
It feels so overwhelming, to be honest, but like in a good way, because it's something that you're not really exposed to. Like if you listen to something, it's so different to being inside of it when the sound is all around you. It's a lot. I feel like it's more work that we have to do extra stuff because to catch up with them, especially when a lot of them have done stuff before. Like with the Messiah, most of them already knew it and we didn't really know it. So that was hard, but then it's like worth it when you get to it. Absolutely.
So what have been your most memorable moments of being a scholar? Ella, Josh and Lara, you've been scholars for 2 years now, just coming up to 2 years. Will, you're just coming up to the end of your first year.
Yeah.
Obviously you haven't had a full year. So, I mean, Ella is the first scholar. What's been the most memorable time for you?
Well, I don't know if it counts because I wasn't technically a scholar yet, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious. My most memorable moment was doing a solo at the Royal Albert Hall because like I'd never even been part of a choir or like being comfortable in like singing in front of people, and then all of a sudden put on my own in front of like 5,000 people in total maybe, and oh my god. But yeah, definitely the most memorable because it was the most scary, but like everything that followed that was just like it has changed my life, so
Josh,
it was amazing.
I've got to say it's always been my favorite concert. I've got to say Carols by Candlelight, but this year's Carols by Candlelight, just performing with the Monica Consort and actually processing down with them and walking with them and then singing with them was absolutely amazing. And I love cheesy songs, so that was right up my avenue.
What about you, Lara?
Josh kind of stole my idea, but I'd say the first Carols by Candlelight that we did as scholars, because before then we'd sang with the seniors a bit. We'd done a few songs with them, But to be in with the pros for all of it was so nice because I'd always loved that concert.
I
So
think
I
'cause
liked
it wasn't the big one, was it? It was that small one in that little village for the
In-
Liverpool Hastings. And it was
Yeah.
a really last minute thing. And I thought you guys knew some of the music anyway. And I just said, look, you know, there were, what, 10 pros. So it was just a really small choir. And there were 4 of you. And we said, just go for it. We've got nothing to lose. And I was so impressed by how you guys, you know, came up prepared. And I'm fully aware that there were some bits you didn't know that you were clearly ghosting with it. But there was not a single obvious wrong note. It was the most impressed I've ever been with you lot. And finally, Will, what about you? What's been your most memorable
Well,
moment?
I mean, my time's been a bit. I haven't been here very long, but I mean, I think just Messiah as the whole kind of process of Messiah and like performance at the end of it, just being able to kind of sing as part of our Monaco consort. I think that was my first big concert sort of for a big audience, and I think that kind of realization of what you're part of, I think kind of you're in the middle of Messiah and you're doing all the choruses and you're like, oh gosh, this is like a part of a choir I'm in and it sounds like so amazing, and you just
So that was, if that wasn't hard enough, the next thing you then did was Bach Mass in B minor.
yeah.
Really hard. So anyway, guys, we need to tail this off. But before we go, a little quick fire round for you all. Keep your answers brief because there's so many of you. The first one, you've got to choose between these two. Milkshake or cola? Ella?
Milkshake.
Will?
Milkshake.
Josh?
Cola.
Okay. Lara?
Ooh.
Cola.
Okay, next one. Now, I don't actually really know what either of these are, so I'm not very good at social media, but TikTok or Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Lara?
Snapchat.
Josh?
Snapchat.
Right, okay. One day you have to teach me what on earth that is. Okay, an interesting one. Josh, you can start on this one. Woody off Toy Story or the Minions?
Ooh. Woody.
Woody, okay. Lara?
Yeah, definitely Woody. Minions are
Okay.
amazing.
Will?
Woody, easily.
Really? Okay, and Ella?
Minions.
I'm Minions.
I don't really like Woody. I don't know.
So who of you lot cried at the end of Toy Story 3?
No.
I haven't seen it.
That really, Lara? Josh, I knew, yeah, you little softy. You
3 or 4?
3. No, 4 wasn't it emotional?
Yeah.
Now, here's an interesting one. Curry or Chinese? Will, why don't you start?
Oh god, that's an evil one. Chinese.
Laura?
Curry all the way.
Curry all the way. Ella?
I'm not sure because the curry depends on where, but like Chinese is good anywhere. It's Chinese.
Okay. And Josh?
I'm a foodie. Curry.
Curry. Yeah, I was going to say, I've had some amazing conversations about people, as fellow foodies, about cooking. You must teach me to cook some of those things you'll be telling me about. Okay, quick one here. James Bond or The Avengers? Josh, you start.
I've got to say Avengers. I'm sorry to all those James Bond fans.
I thought you might say James Bond, actually. Will?
Bond is a classic.
Of course, exactly. Laura?
I haven't seen any of either, to be honest, I don't think. So, I don't know.
Screenshot that moment of everyone with their mouths jaw. But Ella?
Obviously, the Avengers.
Okay. And finally, University of Study or University of Life? Ella, you start.
What does that even mean?
So I can go to a proper university, which I know some of you are able to do, or you basically go out into the world and learn life the hard way, but sometimes the good way.
Or probably University of Life.
Really? We'll have a chat later about that, Ella. Right, Will?
University of Study, I think.
Okay. Josh? Well, I think Josh is frozen.
I'm an academics man, but I do like research. So I've got to say University of Life.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
and
no.
finally, Lara.
I'd say University of Study, I think.
Okay, right. Well done. So for all of those of you who said University of Life rather than University of Study, we'll have quiet chats next week. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for sharing your milkshake, crafty milkshake. Even whatever that was, Ella, that is vital.
It's just coffee.
It's green. disgusting.
It's not. It's brown on my end.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all your hard work in creating that Albert Hall video. You've made a lot of people very happy, and I will be hopefully seeing you in real life in a few weeks' time. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that. All right, take care, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Well done, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to
Oh, stress.